What's up, Brad? How's it going, man?
It's going good. It's going good. Dude, I realized this, like, looking at this year like a little bit closer. Like, October is always such like an amazing time, especially mid-October, for like those fall colors and everything just looking like so nice.
Yeah.
But the weather just shifts to like shit, man.
Oh, does
It's
it so
like
fast?
either rainy. It does. It goes from like starts getting like rainy, dull. It starts getting into our like really windy kind of like season. So it's like every time I look back, because I think I talked about this on the last show, like
Yeah.
every time I look back, I look for that month and see, and I'm like, I'll look and I'm like, oh, I only did like 5 outings in October or like
Oh,
6.
yeah,
I'm like,
that's
that's
many.
weird. I'm like, I'll crush it this kind of month. But then you start realizing you're
Yeah.
like, oh, every day is like just, the conditions just aren't like superb for it or
Gotcha.
like ideal. Because, I'm dealing with like waterfowl
Superb.
stuff on the
I
water.
like that.
Superb. That's a nice word, hey?
It is. Yeah.
My fancy word for the day.
Yeah.
But yeah,
totally.
it's just, yeah. So, but all in all, it's still, the colors are just incredible right now.
I
just
haven't
to see
seen.
and look.
Well, I shouldn't say
Nothing.
that. I haven't seen any color.
You haven't
but
seen
there's
outside the
nothing-
van, have you?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I have a lot. I just haven't been doing any
You have.
photography.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I was done with the family trip, it's been just crunch time on this thing, and it's driving me mad, dude. Driving me absolutely
Yeah.
mad. Yeah, I'm ready. Like
You're gonna need a vacation.
I've wanted to smash my computer multiple times. I've wanted to just give up multiple times. It's
Yeah.
just, you know what it is too. I'm ridiculously spoiled, man. I'm ridiculously spoiled.
Mm.
I'm like, how do people work? Like not
Oh.
just at all. I'm like, I haven't had to actually
That's too
work in a
funny.
long time,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and the other thing is, well, let me just say a quick overview for everybody. We're going to just do a catch up. We got a little bit of follow up to talk about some feedback we got from some people about the contest episode we did, which was great.
Yeah.
And then there's a new lens that was announced we're going to chat about. And then we don't really have a topic, so we're just going to kind of chat and catch up, and that's about it. But dude, I can't remember the last time I was like feeling behind on a deadline. And I'm not behind on the deadline. It just feels like I'm just so early in it still. I can't tell how much more time I actually need to wrap it up and
yeah.
if I'm going to hit the deadline. So therefore it feels like I'm behind on it. And that's just not how I operate, like that's never how I've operated my businesses. I've always been, even when I was a wedding photographer, I've always been so ahead of schedule that I've never had that feeling of like, I just got to work nonstop and get this done and like crunch time feeling. And it's awful. I'm not the personality that can survive like that. I don't know how anybody does that. I really don't. 'Cause it's like crushing to me,
Too funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's too funny.
And I know in the back of my head, when I really sit down and think about it, it's probably going to be fine. I think I'll get it done probably ahead of time, if not on time. And I have a little bit of leeway on the deadline. I've been told as well. So like, I think everything's going to be fine. It's just, it's my personality. I want it done. Like, and I want to know when it's going to be done, and like just not understanding all of that and knowing exactly. It just has me feeling like stressed, and I don't live a stressful life. And so I'm just like, man, like having deadlines and feeling behind and just all this, it's awful. It's really bad. I don't know how people survive all the time like that.
Well, and like coming out the other end of this, like not that you, which I know you, so I know you appreciate your lifestyle and everything very much.
Yes.
But like coming off of this, you're going to probably be, for at least that little bit, you're going to be like, oh God, it's so great to get out. It's so great to go shoot. It's like, like you're going to really love just any outing and any kind of focus shift after this project. Yeah. But yeah, it's not fun having to be locked in. I do it, I do the office job. Like that's my job. So I'm like stuck in the office from like 7 a.m. till 3:30 or 4 sometimes, every day. And it's just, it gets daunting. Like when you got a deadline in a project and that little bit of extra stress. And like it's stress you put on yourself more than probably, I'm sure they're not like in the background, like sending you emails like, Ray, where are you at? Are you almost done? Like, but it's that perfectionist in you and wanting to do it, an excellent job with it. So Yeah, it'll be over before you know it.
Today, I think the last time we recorded this show, I had just done one of those things where I didn't have the microphone plugged in. Well, so today I go to record second video. I did the first one, everything's fine, all working good. Yeah. Second video, so I'm using my phone that's mounted up here, which is my webcam right now. I'm using that phone as my the video camera showing my face, because I cut back and forth in this course to just me talking, and then the screen, and then sometimes split. So I use the camera to just record it clean. And then I use the screen recorder and this microphone to record what's showing on the screen to do this course. So I tap record up there. And the thing is, like, as you know, on these phones, the better camera is on the back side of the camera, right? So I can't see the phone and what it's doing while I'm recording. So I'm always just like, it better not mess up. I mean, usually I've never had, like, once you hit record, it just records, like the video just keeps going. But you never know. It'd be nice if I could see the screen. But if I flip it and use the selfie camera, it just doesn't look at the quality's not as good, So I lean up there, I tap record, make sure it's going, and then I sit down, and then I start doing my spiel, and I do the whole thing, and then I go to hit stop record on the screen, and it says start recording. And I'm like, you mother effer. I never hit start on the screen. Like, I hit record up on the phone, so I got that, but I don't have any of the screen. It's like, well, that's useless. Absolutely useless. I just sat there for 15 minutes talking and then nothing. And I was like, dude, I wanted to smash stuff. I'm like cursing. I'm like, you idiot, just like, just, and then I was able to laugh it off and get back to it and get the video done. Thankfully, it wasn't like one of the half-hour or 40-minute clips that I had to do. It was just like a 10, 15-minute one. But
and that's funny, because it's like, people don't realize, especially with recordings, or even especially doing this, there's so many other like little moving parts behind the scenes. Like, hit record this, got to make sure this is plugged in, this is done. Like, nobody realizes. And sometimes you get do it so much that you forget to, like, I didn't hit that one other thing, and it's like,
I just sat down, I start going blah, 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 talking away, and it's just like, I never even hit record. I'm like, how did I forget that? That's like kind of the most important part of it, and I just didn't do it on that one time. And then the other time with the microphone not plugged in was hilarious, But you ain't kidding with this show right now. I have 2 monitors. I have my laptop down here with our video recording software showing me what's going on there. I have separate audio recording so that we get clean audio split from you and me. I have our notes up here, which reference like how we're going to do the show, what we're talking about, and links. And then I have Lightroom over here with Zoom in the background of that for you. Like, there's just I'm using 5 different applications right now just to record the show. And that's not even to edit it after the fact.
Yeah, it's wild.
It is.
Yeah. Wild.
So, you got out to shoot.
I did. Yeah, I managed one outing again, and to be honest, it wasn't even that great of an outing. Conditions were great, like in terms of light and everything else.
Yeah, it's horrible. What a garbage photo. Just delete it.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was just like, the rest of the outing just didn't materialize into anything. So back at the same lake, bunch of birds still showing up and different things. But anyways, I showed up well before sunrise again. And after kind of laying down and getting myself in position, obviously I know where the light is going to show up and kind of reflect off all this like foliage and stuff in the background. I noticed this snipe was like tucked in to that section of rocks. And it was one of those things where, like, Ray, like, warbler in the wrong position, but you're like, everything is like, you got yourself lined up, like, come on, jump, come on, just move up a little bit higher on the branch, or, anything,
you're trying to mentally will it into position.
Oh, dude. And at first I was like trying to will it just to like walk away from these rocks. I'm like, just get up somewhere, like away from these rocks. Cause it was just, just getting hidden within. And I think a duck came by or something like that, and I saw it kind of like hop, and I was like, oh, maybe it'll kind of like jump up on the rocks in a second. So anyways, I stayed like perfectly still, didn't move. I was there for like 15-ish minutes, and then finally, and this is, dude, like before the light actually hit, like this is like this pre-glow before the sun actually kind of popped.
Really?
It is. Yep.
I mean, there's like,
so this
it looks like soft shadows on the rocks, like direct sunlight is hitting it. Is it like filtering through trees or something?
So the sun is probably like, I guess, yes, technically risen on the horizon. Like if you were like out by the ocean, you could probably see it. But there's, you know, like a tree line. There's a very, very distant, small little hill. So it's not over that. So there's like this glow happening. Like there's no directional light on that background. Yeah, like it just, and it's wild. Looking at the frames, I don't remember maybe there was just this thin layer of cloud, but like you'd shoot some of the frames and you'd see this little hint of color. And then the next couple of frames, it was like super dull. And then a couple little hints. But yeah, so yeah, this was like, I'm thinking like maybe 5 minutes-ish or so before the sun actually kind of popped and hit the background. But anyways, so just willed him up onto those rocks. And he posed there for a little bit.
Nice.
Kind of just like, you know, gave me 2 compositions. One he's looking right, one he's looking left. So I kind of composed and whatever. But the colors were great. And then, of course, like a crow, I think, flew overhead. And he was like, oh, crap, what is this?
Oh, really?
So I think this is a juvenile. I'm pretty sure it's still one of the juvenile ones. Anyway, so he popped down. So you can see like 50th of a second.
I was just going to say, I can't believe it's a 50th of a second.
Yeah, so it's,
I would have guessed like 500, 640th of a second. Like, it is dim light.
It's got that look.
But man, the colors.
Very dim.
Wow.
Yeah, we're like crazy. So then of course he pops down. And dude, I stayed in that spot for, it was like an hour and a half-ish afterwards. This little dude never moved. He stayed into the rocks. Yep. So while I was there, you know, another photographer showed up, someone I had met a while back. And then while we were there for a little bit longer, someone else came. I hadn't met this individual before. Kind of more like gave me that more of a birder kind of feel. Anyways,
did they have binoculars?
They did, yeah.
Oh, well, that does it.
They had a good, decent camera.
Yeah, but as soon as you have both, I'm like, you're more of a birder, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, every time that this individual was like, trying to figure out a species or see what was around, like I'm like grab my lens, like zoom in, you know, whatever. It was always binoculars, so I'm like, okay, this is definitely more of a birder photographer, which is fine, nothing wrong with that.
No, totally, yeah, it's just a different approach is all.
So after, you know, like you and I've talked about lately, like so many people are so technical, like everyone's worrying about settings and they're trying to learn everything they can about the camera and how to use it. But after this outing, it really kind of dawned on me or hit home a little bit more. I'm like, you know, no matter how much technical knowledge you have, if you have shitty field techniques, in the field techniques, like either pursuing a subject or like just staying concealed or just understanding your behaviors, like you're not getting shots. Like, so for instance, let's just say there was a lot of movement going on, way more than what I was doing when I first showed up. And, you know, even though they knew the snipe was there, it wasn't going to move. No. Like I could tell. I'm like, there's no way. As soon as, dude, I would keep focused on this thing. And this bird would sit like pretty still. And then all of a sudden you would see it kind of like do that little butt bob and then kind of like dip his head down in between those rocks a little bit, feed a little bit. I'm like, oh, he's gonna move. Like he's going to come out of this open.
Yeah.
Sure as shit, somebody would move. And I'm like, this bird sees us. Like, you don't think that it sees us? I'm like, and just because like it's staying by the rocks doesn't mean necessarily that it's comfortable. Like,
no, because that's their move.
It's just there. It's
cover. Yeah. They're going to blend in. They're not
cover,
like
so
escape until last minute.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
No, exactly. So I'm like, you know, really kind of dawned on me. I'm like, I wonder, you know, so many people focus on the camera part and like thinking about their species or whatever, but like how often do they practice like real good field technique? And I think like even as a birder, like I often see birders like come to different locations, like, you know, potentially as I'm doing photography or whatever, and they walk out to a location and just stand there like looking around with the binocular. I'm like get a low profile, like conceal yourself just even a little bit more, and I guarantee you'll have situations or things happen. You know what I mean? Like, it just, you know, it was one of those things that hit home. That I'm like, yeah, that's something I think people really need to maybe hone in on a little bit more than they probably do.
Well, and then also, you know, even understanding how different species react, you know, that's when you're really getting into learning bird behavior and whatever subject you're photographing behavior, and understanding that a snipe's move is going to be camo. So just because it's there doesn't mean, like you said, it's comfortable, right? But if this was like a sanderling on the open beach, well, they're not worried about cover. They're just, you know, if they're there and they're near you, they're comfortable, you know, because their move is going to be, as soon as they're frightened, they're going to fly. So like different birds are just going to react different ways. You know, warblers in general, doesn't matter what you're wearing. You could have the most colorful thing on, as long as you're not moving, they're fine, you know, right? So it's movement for them. It's like, and so it's just, and it's just totally different for all these different species. And as you spend more time out there and learn that, it just gives you better odds. You get better chances of getting near these things, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've had people, and I think you probably have as well, like even with the songbird, like warbler thing. And it's like, okay, get ready. Okay. You know, he's probably going to hop out in a second. And then as soon as it does, it's like, that's their decision or their timing to be like, well, I need to move or I need to adjust something. I'm like, no, do your adjustments beforehand. Like you need to stay rock solid still. Like, and I think too, like some people's perception or what they think of as like staying stealthy is nothing compared to other people's. You know what I mean? Like so my thing of stealthiness is like head down, my feet, my arms, nothing moves. Eye barely comes out of the viewfinder. I could be locked in that position for like 15 minutes straight if it's like a snipe or something like that. Like I know that this thing sees any little movement that I do as a potential danger, right? Yeah. So it's like, and then other people is like, well, yeah, I didn't get up, but I'm like, okay, but you're moving your hands, you're fixing your hair, you're, you know, scratching your nose, you're doing whatever. I'm like, every time you do that, it's like a reset button. Yeah. Right? Because we talk about like camouflage. Like once you lay down, you're camouflaged within the environment after a while. Like many subjects, like I'll even see ducks sometimes that, you know, are a little bit skittish kind of, but after you lay on the shoreline for so while, they just like, it's like they forgot you were there. But if you do this and scratch your nose or rub your hair or whatever, it's like, oh, that just reset everything. Now they know you're there again. If they need a half hour to get comfy and come back in, you're back to square one again. Back to square one. If anything, in those scenarios, you've extended the timeline, because the more they see something happening over there, it's going to be like longer and longer before they forget, or they're just going to be like, nah, I'm going to stay away from there for today or whatever, you know? My favorite dude was like, I'd have clients out in a hide or just laying down somewhere, even if we weren't in camo, right? And like, they don't even know how they're moving their feet. I'm like, hold your foot still. Yeah. What are you moving your foot for? Yeah. You're laying down here with the camera. Why is your foot like swinging around back there? Your foot? Yeah. Like, what are you doing with that thing? You know? And they don't even realize it, dude. It's just, they're just doing it, you know? And I'm like, you can't do that, you know? No. Yeah. You can't do anything. It's so funny, man. You're a log. Don't move. Totally. And then going back to the warbler thing, my favorite was watching people like chase the view. You know, so like, oh, there's a branch in the way, and they go over here to try and get it, and they go over here, and then it moves, and inevitably, as soon as you get set up, it moves again. I'm like, would you just hold still, just wait. It's gonna move around. You stay put, and you follow it in your lens or follow it with your eye, and wait for an opening. You start moving around, even if you're not scaring the thing, which most of the time they didn't. It's just like you're never getting the view. Like you're always moving when it finally hits that open view. And then by the time you get set up and find the thing in the viewfinder, it's moved again. Whereas if you just track it and then you wait, you're always standing there ready to just hit that shutter button as soon as it happens. And I would see it time and time again. I'd have somebody, they're moving to the left, then they're moving to the right, and they're literally all around behind me. And I'm just standing there and then I'm just like shooting and I'm shooting. They haven't gotten a shot yet. I'm just shooting away, you know? And it's like, I try to tell them, you know, like, I think you'd be better off if you just like stay put, you know, and then they do it for 30 seconds and then because they see an opening, right? And they're like, well, I'll just move and get that. And it's like, nope, you missed it, the opportunity again. And then at a certain point, I'm like, I feel rude telling an adult to hold still. You know, I was just like, I can only say it so many times before it just feels weird to just keep saying. So then I would just kind of be like, all right, I guess they'll figure it out, you know? It's not my shot they're ruining, you know? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's too funny. But I thought it was field craft makes a difference, dude. Totally. It does. Yeah, I think it does. Because like I said, you can have all the techniques, the camera tech down pat and know exactly what to do. But if you can't get yourself in front of the subject or make them comfortable with your presence, then you're not going to get the really good shots. So.
But you got a killer shot, dude. So I got to ask, man, nothing else, like no other birds showed up in that moment? Or is it just nothing gave you like Brad level shots? Like there had to be other stuff around, though.
Oh yeah, there was. There were definitely some widgeon, a few other ducks, but the water level is so low. There's so many other like distracting elements, and then
gotcha.
I think because there were other people around, there was a lot more movement. They weren't coming in as close, and it just it wasn't giving me what I wanted, and I was super happy with this. So then after waiting for a while, I was like, I'm done. And the further open section of the lake, like the looking out to the other direction, it was just like the ripply water. So it was very confined to one spot, and it just things weren't just not lining up, and that's fine.
No, I gotcha. Because I'm like, there had to be something, man.
Oh yeah, there were definitely other things around. But I'm hoping this week coming up, I think things should line up a little bit where I might be able to get out and really get some waterfowl stuff. So
nice.
Let's hope.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had we met up with some family, which was cool. So Emily's sister and her husband came up, and you can see how alike they look. And then my sister,
I love the dog is like
I know, gnawing
on his nose or something.
Yeah, they're so funny. So they came up from Hilton Head area, and we went to just outside of Ashville, North Carolina, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Stunning scenery up there. My sister drove up from Florida. She came up mainly because we were doing some of this. Me and my sister got out like 3 different times, and this was one of the most fun trails we hit. It's just like this like roller coaster trail, and you can see it's just like an absolute blast. Like here's me cruising down the thing with her. So we did a lot of riding. Both of us haven't been riding much lately. I tried to do a little bit leading up to this, but like it just destroys you, man. It's just crazy how much work it is and effort and everything like that, and like such a workout. And like some of the times it was like we did 40 minutes of just grinding uphill to get up to the top before we could like ride this stuff down, So you're just in like that first gear, the really easy one where you're pedaling really fast, but you're just creeping uphill, going up and up, and just like heart rate up in zone 5 like the whole time, It's just crazy. But this is the reason to do it, right? You get to do this kind of stuff on these trails coming down. But dude, 40 to 45 minutes climbing up for a trail like this, and we're down in about 8 minutes. Like that's the trade-off there.
Are you going up the exact same trail that you're coming back down, or is this like a loop thing?
You could have gone up that. We saw some people going up it, but we didn't. We did another trail because most people are going down this thing, and you can see how fast and fun it is. So you don't want to like be in the way when you go up.
No.
So anyway, then we did some hiking and stuff like that. So it was nice. I was able to kind of just disconnect. Initially, I was thinking I was going to try and do some work on this Photoshop course. But when I got there, I was just like, my mind wasn't, I couldn't really connect to it because there was just so much other stuff going on. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like enjoy these few days here. The weather was absolutely perfect. Just beautiful temperatures, sunny every day. So we did this one hike during the day with the whole group. And then they left. My sister left first, then Emily's sister and her husband left. And so me and Em decided the last morning we were there, we were like, we're going for it. We're going to do that same hike at sunrise. So we're going to get the headlamps out and go out early. And so, this is that happening here. I'll show some of that. Like, so this is us climbing up that morning. It was just a bunch of stone steps. We took our time. I think we got from the trailhead up to the top in 40 minutes, something like that, 45 minutes. Okay. So not too long, and it's like 700 feet of elevation gain. So decent, but nothing crazy, But this was like going up in the dark, and we start seeing this sky on the way up, and we're like, it's going to be gorgeous up there. Not a cloud in the sky, dude. So this is when we get to the top. We took some photos up there. And then this beautiful pano, like this was really cool, man. It was 360 degree views up there. You could see all around, except for this one stupid tower that was in the way. That kind of killed the view in one direction.
Yeah, of course.
But it was really cool because you could see sunrise came up basically just to the left of this shrub, this tree over here. So that was where the sun was coming up. And then in the pano, it like faded. You could see how the sky wraps around and turns to like the pastel tones on the opposite side, you know?
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
That's
and then the
cool.
sun popped up and it was just like this gorgeous glow up there.
Nice.
And then another really cool thing was like, this was the mountain we were on. That's the shadow of it on the rest of the terrain right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that neat?
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
As it started coming up, I was like, I think that's the shadow. And then the sun came up a little bit more and it got more intense. I was like, that's super cool. It was like another mountain in there, but it was just the shadows of it. And I think in that local vicinity there, that was the tallest mountain around. It was Mount Pisgah in that area.
Okay.
So yeah, that kind of wrapped up our trip, and then we bounced out of there. Go ahead.
So no birds up in that area?
I'm sure, but I just never even picked up a camera.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
I didn't bother taking anything. We didn't see anything along these hikes either. Me and my sister got to see a black bear. We scared the crap out of it on the bikes, which is how it happens every time I see one on a bike. They're always just terrified because we're like ripping down the trails, you
bombing
know?
it. Yeah.
And the bear just like launched. He ran in front of me on the trail, and at first I'm like, there's a lot of people around there. I'm like, oh, whose dog? And then it like clicked. I'm like, oh no, that's a bear. And then he ran off the trail a little bit, stopped. I got some GoPro footage of him, but it's like far away, so it wasn't really good. But it was still cool to see. And my sister was all pumped because she was like, she had never seen a bear outside of like a vehicle.
Oh,
you know?
cool. Yeah.
So that was neat.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great time. It was really nice hanging out with the family and just nice to kind of decompress and disconnect from this course. But the whole time it was just like, oh, I got to work on this.
Yeah, in the back of your head.
So now we're down in Hilton Head right now.
Okay.
And we're visiting Emily's aunt. We came here. Our original plan was to come here so we could do some photography. This was all before I had this project to work on.
Yeah.
And so we stuck with the schedule anyway. And we're going to try and get out some of the mornings because I can't really record these videos like first thing in the morning because I need some light out the windows here so it looks like daylight and not like dark and dingy out there. So I'm just kind of recording during the days. But I needed to, part of the course is like showing how you import your photos and where to store them and organize them and using Bridge to like cull them and narrow them down and then open them up in Camera Raw. So I was like, I need to have some photos. So this morning, right here where her aunt stays, cool. She's staying on the marsh here. She lives. She has this house, this condo on the marsh in Hilton Head. And literally right over there, I can see the trees over there just past a couple of other condo units. There's a big lake, and out this way is all the marsh in front of her house, like the salt marsh. And over here is this little pond, freshwater. Actually, I don't know if it's freshwater. It might be salt. But anyway, the birds have recently taken up rooking in there, like their rookery overnight at this pond. Cool. So yesterday morning we wake up and we sat up on the deck and it's just a steady stream, just nonstop wading birds.
No way.
White ibis, little blue heron, snowy egret, tricolored heron, gray egret, great blue heron. All of the wading species, just a stream of them, one after hundreds of them at a time, sometimes just flying out. So this morning I was like, you know what, I'll get up early and I'll walk over and see. And so this is some of the stuff I got. The ibis all blasted out pretty quick, but this great blue heron was there right off the bat, which was really cool. That's cool
with the Spanish moss hanging.
Yeah, that's cool. I kind of worked it to line that up with that.
Yep. Nice.
Had this mockingbird that just popped
textures.
Up. Yeah, the classic palm stuff is always really, really nice.
Oh, so nice.
And then I had this Anhinga, and this guy I was able to work.
Moody.
Yeah, so sun was up for a bit, but not clearing the trees. So filtering through the trees. And then I'll bring the settings up on this stuff. I did take the 400-2.8 because I knew for this course I wanted more just like portrait clean stuff just to show. But I took a couple of clean portraits and then I'm like, yeah, screw that. I gotta get creative with this stuff, you know? Like I can't just shoot boring when I have light like this.
Oh, I know.
And so dude, he sat there for I must have played around with him for a half hour, and then I left, came back to the house, got in the vehicle in the van, drove away. He was still perched there, you know.
No way.
But I was able to like stay there into the transition of sun, actually like starting to shine through the trees.
Love that.
And really start to shine in, you know? So that was really fun. This might be one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. I think that's my, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, really dug that. And so, I was just shooting through. There was all kinds of bushes to move around and play with, shooting through the foreground. And then the sun started hitting the foreground bushes, and I was playing with different angles and just getting different colors. And then the sun finally hit the bird, so I got like some dramatic backlight stuff there. But yeah, dude, it was like just a really fun chance to like play around, get a ton of diversity in one morning. It all came about. I wasn't even planning on shooting, but I was like, I need photos to import and like show culling. Because you know me, dude, I cull so hard, I don't have any things laying around.
No, that's right. Exactly.
I don't have no backlog.
Like even that like that setup of that Anhinga, like I think just even a clean portrait on that, like it's not like a crazy interesting perch. So like using all this foreground texture that you did with the background bokeh, like just elevates the images so well. Like,
because his perch was busy.
Really, really good.
You know, like you can see
that's what I mean. Like it just everyone like, meh.
It's just like a mess of like, I think it's live oak. And they're just real busy, super leafy and everything. So without playing around with some foreground stuff, it was exactly that. It was just kind of boring. And then sometimes like the sun would hit the palms over here for certain shots, and then it was like too much. It was too much highlight and everything. So like the soft light worked for that. And then this one was like basically those same leafy branches in the foreground, and now the sun was hitting them, and so it just turned into like that bokeh in the foreground. And I was able to just play around and line that up. I love just that perfect gap where you got him in. He's so clean in that spot, like, and just with the head up, looking at it, the light. And it took a while to find that opening, man.
I bet.
There was so much. Also,
it does.
The sun was low enough that I was dealing with lens flare. So there's a lot of times where I'd find a clear opening, but the angle I needed to get the composition with the bird low in the frame pointed the lens up towards the sun a little bit, and then I get the lens flare. So I get like that wash over the bird, and it didn't look as clear as it actually was. I could compose him higher in the frame and tip down and get rid of the lens flare, but then I was getting just more stuff at the bottom that wasn't as like nice looking. So it really required like a lot of playing around and a lot of moving around to find a spot where I could point up, but then some branch was blocking the sun, so I wasn't getting the lens flare. Then I could see clearly through the opening. Like it really, I mean, I shot probably like 250 photos this morning, and most of them just playing around with all this different foreground. And I shot a bunch like totally through the foreground where there wasn't an opening. You could still see the bird, but they just weren't as good as when I like hit the opening here. So and it was nice in the course video. I recorded that already this morning. I took that 250 photos down to like 50. You know, like here's the like, or actually no, I think in the end it was 25 keepers from the outing. So it was a great outing just to show exactly what I want to show, like how you narrow these photos down. And now I got to start recording, like actually like going through and editing them and stuff like that. But it was a fun
they're
morning.
Fantastic, really creative stuff. Like I said, it just goes to show, like if you have like a subject that's not necessarily on the greatest perch, and you're not getting like, you know, like anything super interesting, if you've got a ton of foliage around, like take advantage of it.
Totally.
Stick it all in front of you and see what happens. You get such great textures and stuff. Really cool stuff.
Definitely. I do want to try and go back earlier though, because I think there's some lights around there, because there's condos all around it. And when I first got there, most of the ibis were just starting to like launch out, and there was no sunlight, but it wasn't early enough that the lights showed that well. So I'm like, if I go a little earlier and really push some settings, it could be fun. Or we could take that plana out, you know, and maybe do something with the F1.8. Or maybe, actually, those birds are friendly enough. We got that 50. I could maybe even play with that now too, at F1.2.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So that might happen. And
you're right there, so.
Oh, dude,
why not?
Be there. I can walk from here where we're sleeping to 2 minutes. I'm over there. Just walk over. Not even.
Perfect. That's awesome.
So, and you know what? I could try it at night too, because
nice.
actually all the birds just come back and roost there at night as well. So
True.
That's what I meant to say earlier. A roost, not a rookery. They're not. It's like not the season for nesting right now. But
no. But roosting,
it's cool. They're all roosting. And then we're also set to Saturday and Sunday morning. We're going to go over to Emily's old original marsh here in Hilton Head. She still has friends that live there, and so they called in a permit for us. We can't take the van in there. Good. It's restricted. You're not allowed to drive the van in.
Okay.
So we have to wait for the weekend so we can use her aunt's car because she doesn't work on the weekend. And then we'll go over at sunrise and check that out. So that'll be cool. Okay. So we're going to go back in on Saturday and Sunday and play around.
So you can't take a van in, but you can take the car in. Is it because you're just worried about you camping or staying there?
You just aren't allowed. It's the stupid HOA rules. You're not allowed to drive an RV in there into that development. It's the dumbest thing, dude. The absolute dumbest thing. Did I ever tell you the story when I broke in there though with the van?
No.
Oh yeah, dude. Like with the old van. The first time I ever come down to meet Emily, right? We've been online phone dating for a while. We haven't even really met in person since we had decided to kind of date, you know. And I drive all the way from New Jersey down here, pull up to the thing, and they're like, "Nope, you can't go in." And we're like, "What?" Oh, they didn't know. I didn't know, you know?
Yeah.
So the security comes out, they're talking, they're like, "Nope, you can't." So we figure out we'll come park it over here at her aunt's house. You're allowed here. Mm-hmm. And then we just dealt with it. But one of the other times later, we had one of these passes called in for using for one of the other vehicles. And so I had it in the van. And I just drove in, and the one entrance that you would go through where people do have passes, there's not a gate. So you just drive through and you wave the pass, right? So, dude, I just drive up and I hold the pass, and it was the best thing was, and this was probably I don't know, it might have been 3-4 months later from the original time I was denied, you know? Okay. The best part is it was the same security guard that had denied me up front. And so I just wave the pass and smile and just keep driving. And he's going, "Stop, stop, 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 stop." He's screaming, "Stop." And I just blasted through. And then I knew once I was in the neighborhood, they have no idea where I was going. So they don't even know what house I was parking at. And here's the kicker, right? Yep. I'm parking in the house that they own in their driveway, their private driveway. Yeah. It's why does this restriction exist? I don't get it. It's just stupid. Old people with nothing else better to do and making these dumb rules, right? So anyway, I drove it in, parked it there, and it was fine. I was there for a week and no issues, you know. I just never left it, you know. But it was fun.
That's funny.
That was a good time.
Your rebel side.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go do that. That should be really fun shooting in that marsh again. It's always amazing, and there's so many birds right now.
You got any different plans? Are you going to try anything different?
I think I want to try
different lenses
and not shoot at all, actually.
Are you crazy?
I want to try and record a video of Emily shooting. I've had this idea in my head for a long time. I want to do just a really, really well shot, super creatively shot behind the scenes video of her in that marsh just photographing this stuff. So including,
something for her to have
video, just something to create too, you know. I just think, I think I have it in my mind. I want to make it beautiful and cinematic. I want to do a lot of movement, you know. I might bring the drone out. I have that new slider that does that real slow movement. I think I want to try and bring that into the marsh and see if I can mount that low and do some movement with it. And then just shoot creatively with a bunch of different lenses and stuff like that. I think I want to try and do that, and then mix in some of the shots that she captured, and then mix in video of the wildlife, and then I can imagine being behind her, focused on her camera, seeing her shoot, then rack focus to the bird that she's shooting, and then show the photograph and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see if I have the energy and the desire when the day comes.
So can I suggest something to throw in the mix of that? Just a reminder, which you probably have thought about it, but depending, I guess, what I'm assuming you'd probably want to shoot that whole thing with the Z9 or something like that. But I know at one point you had thought about doing the water housing and then leaving with auto capture.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if you're doing video and everything else, you could still throw that camera on the side of the marsh with a wide angle.
Yeah, I might be able to
get close. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to monitor it. It's just leave it there for a couple hours as you're doing the rest and see what happens.
Yeah, I could try that. I had thought about it, actually. It had crossed my mind. And I was just like, I had nixed it just thinking like, I'm going to have enough crap that I'm bringing out there, like let alone bringing this housing out and then getting that over there and setting it up. Plus also like, well, I guess it is possible. I'm maybe. We'll see. Because there's two separate ponds
just
that we
add
work.
on to your shit.
Yeah. There's two separate ponds. So we usually start in the one, then work our way to the other. But I could just leave it on the one that we're not in shooting on the way in and then see what happens there.
Go back and get it after. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess my point is like, if you can sacrifice a camera.
For sure. Yeah.
Once it's set up,
I'm not going to be using
anything.
two cameras. Like, totally. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So throw it in there, see what happens. You never know if something might pop, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
You might get something super incredible.
That could be cool.
Yeah, but that's cool. If you do the video, it'd be nice to see. It'd be really cool. And like I said, like I know Emily how much that place means to her. So like to even have that and her shooting in that's cool. Yeah. That'd be a great memory to keep.
I just, I'll have it.
That's awesome.
If I do shoot it, I might be able to have it edited by like, next February.
Next year. Yeah, exactly. Oh, busy man.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. It's a good complaint to have.
It is. Yo, did you hear this? Another 200 F2 is out?
Yeah, I guess everyone's competing against each other. Like, what's with this 200 F2? Like, I guess there's a big market for it.
Yeah, but
like,
look,
is it? I wonder.
$2,000 for this one. Like, Laowa went with the cheaper price too, because I think the Sigma one was like 35 US, and this one's only 2,000. So $1,500 less for the same lens.
I just wonder, like, what market is this falling into, like the sports side of things?
Think so.
Or like
I think it's sports and portrait.
I mean, because portrait seems, portrait's a little, no, I guess it's not really that on the long end.
I mean, they're marketing right here, right?
Yeah,
affordable possibilities for portrait, sports, and events.
I just saw that.
Yeah. Like that's what they're saying.
So I guess there's a big demand for it.
It doesn't look that big on a camera though, huh? This one feels like it looks a little small. I feel like the Sigma one looked bigger and chunkier.
Yeah, it was maybe. Yeah.
I think, but I don't know. Maybe not. But this one doesn't look that bad, It really doesn't. I was kind of surprised seeing it on a camera like that. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
It's interesting.
Well, I was thinking too, for somebody that doesn't have, we have that 400 4.5, but Sony and Canon don't have anything remotely close to that. But this one with a 2x teleconverter is a 400 f4 because it goes from 2 to 2.8, 2.8 to 4. So that's pretty sweet, right? A 400 f4.
Yeah, that's nice.
That small and portable, like that size on the lens, with just I guess a little bit more with a 2x. But dude, how stupid! Canon hasn't released their they won't allow third-party people to make lenses for their mirrorless cameras. So Laowa had to make this for their old EF mount, not the non-mirrorless lens mount, and then you can only use on mirrorless with an adapter. Yeah. Like, what the hell, Canon? How stupid is that?
Like, you're just... I
don't get it.
Unless they're really trying to force people to buy their lenses, you know what I mean? So... But then if you're going to do that, you better start coming out with some killer options. Because I run into so many people that have Canon and are like, I'm tempted to switch over the Nikons. Nikon has so many more options or better options or whatever. I'm like, just wait. But
I know.
Usually everyone catches up to each other at some point. Yeah. But that's an interesting move.
Yeah, it is. All right, so the other thing to chat about, we did have some really good follow-up. Number one, we heard a lot of feedback. I did anyway. I think you did too, right?
On Autobahn? Yeah.
Yeah, on the whole contest thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the general consensus you heard back on?
That we don't know what we're talking about? No,
no, I totally heard so many people were really happy that we just shared our honest opinion. I kept hearing that over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did too. I got the same thing, and I think, I think that was one big intent for us. Is I think for us, we love to kind of, take on these more challenging topics that are kind of like spoken about kind of in the shadows. Like nobody wants to really openly talk about it because it's like the forbidden thing. So I think it's nice to have these things, as I think it just puts accountability onto the content. It just opens up a dialogue, and I think that's kind of what we want. And it's nice to hear that there were a nice few people that had the same feelings, were feeling the same way. One thing I think you probably noticed too, a few people, which I do appreciate, and I think maybe you might have one of the comments there about the Audubon contest. That was definitely like ignorance on our end to not really dive crazy deep into how they ran it this year. I think they ran it a little bit different with the Chile and
Colombia.
What was the other? Yeah, they split up the countries. I
was aware of that. I knew they did that. And
I wasn't.
It still, to me, doesn't account for, like, even within those sections, there were, like, it was the grand prize winner, and then, the runners up or whatever, first, second, third after the grand prize. And those were all, there was a bunch of those that were like awesome and really good. And then the grand prize winner was like the questionable one. So like it still to me doesn't answer that question. Because yes, a lot of the feedback we got from a handful of people was, well, there was that whole section for Chile and Colombia, and there's a lot less photographers there. So maybe less people submitted. So therefore just the options that they had to choose from were less. But there were still some great shots in the mix on those, and so I can't wrap my head around it, like that does give some answer there, but I don't know that it really totally solves that. To me,
no, and it didn't, and I think my first thought when I did read those comments was that, okay, well, what about last year? What about the year before? Like this is, this wasn't just the first year, and this is why, this wasn't why we had brought this up. And I think we've done.
It's a big part of why we haven't entered it for a very long time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's just a lot of head scratching when it comes to some of the judging.
Well, what about previous?
But I did appreciate.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I did appreciate that people brought that to our attention for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Leron Gertzman, who got grand prize for bird photographer of the year, and also had I forget which place. He placed really high or grand prize one of the categories in Audubon as well. He said, I'm just kind of reading this here and I'll paraphrase. He was talking about the Chile and Colombia where Audubon is increasing their outreach. So there was probably just like less competition there. And then he also said with contests like that, they might be trying to find a balance between outstanding photos and photo species that can be used loosely to tie into Audubon's initiatives, hence the categories, Birds Without Borders and Plants for Birds. He said, I don't know for certain if that's what may impact the quality of the winners, but it does seem likely it's one of the variables. And he said, he's like, I've taken that into account when submitting his own photos to those contests, picking photos of species that might be of particular interest to the judges and stuff like that. So certainly a valid point to think of if you're trying to place in those contests. I would argue and push back a little bit on that, saying, well, if you're calling it a photo contest, it should be a photo contest, not those other elements, But every contest is allowed to run it the way they want. This is just our opinion on a contest, right? So, we don't control it. And there's an easy solution for those that think the same way we do. Don't enter. That's, if you don't agree with it, just don't participate. And that's how I've approached it, And then he did want to mention this, though, which is a good clarification. He said, the one other thing on the topic of Audubon using the photos, because I had talked about them using everybody's photos from that contest, is he said, they do directly ask when you're entering if you want Audubon to be allowed to use those entries for other purposes. So that is good to know because back the last times, many years ago when I entered it, I don't recall that happening at all. He said he personally always checks the no, and then they've even reached out after the fact several times and purchased and licensed images that he has submitted to the contest to use for certain things. So I would say if you're one of the photographers that is concerned about that, which I think sometimes you should be, then if you just say no up front, it doesn't mean they're never going to use your photos. If they like it a lot, they still might reach out, and then you can actually get paid for using that photo, which is kind of the way it should be. But there's also nothing wrong with donating your photos to a cause like Audubon as well, and just saying, okay, have at it. So I, respect and appreciate that point of view as well. But yeah, he did want to clarify that they do give you a choice, and I agree that is a good thing. So that's nice as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think that was it. I think that was all we had to catch up. So yeah.
Yep, definitely.
What do you got coming up for the coming? Oh wait, I guess we got to pick our photos and stuff, but.
Yeah, like I said, I'm hoping like this week. I mean, I think if we don't get any crazy wind, like the fall colors might hang around, decently for the next, week or so. Hopefully 2 weeks. But I think this week coming up, it's there's a few days with like very little wind and such. I'm like gearing up that's going to hit a couple different locations that I haven't even checked yet to make sure that there's ducks back, but
awesome.
they're generally there. So
nice,
looking forward to it. Yeah, definitely.
All right,
yourself, other than you're gonna be doing
just
the
marsh
Hilton Head
stuff, and I'm gonna be working my butt off. As soon as we're done this, I gotta drive over to where I've been recording because I don't want like the cars and everything in my background here. So I've just been parking at like the nearby park, and then recording. So I'll go back to grinding away. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yep. For sure.
So let's wrap up with our wildlife photo chat challenge for everybody interested in entering. All you got to do is just use the hashtag right here, Wildlife Photo Chat Challenge, on Instagram, and we pick from that. Here are some of the recent selections that people have been posting. So as always, we're getting some great stuff there. So keep it coming, everybody. The last one we just talked about, or the previous episode, was for wildlife behavior. And so we picked out a couple for that. I went with this one from the New Jersey Birdman. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of choose this one for two reasons, because the same photographer, Ryan, who is a mentorship student of mine, and I'm not picking it just because of that.
No.
He also had a red-headed woodpecker one that was really, really good.
Yeah, really nice.
Just gorgeous light, great behavior with I think it was an acorn in its bill or something like that.
Yep.
But I wanted to choose this one because I wanted to talk about this in relation to that contest. We kept kind of, I feel like, talking really bad on that kingfisher photo because it was shot in really bright, strong, contrasty sun. And, it was like, is there a way to make that look good? And I thought this was an awesome example of a photo that, like, listen, this is not the first light of the day. This is strong sun, but he did an amazing job of making it look good here. It looks wild. It's an amazing behavioral moment. Also, it almost looks like he's in a housing on this one. He got so damn low. I don't know how the hell he pulled that one off.
Right? I know. I was going to ask you if it was in a housing because it has that feel to it.
I mean, I can't imagine it was. And you can also see like this one little bokeh ball right here in the middle, which would be above the water, But whatever it was, he got low, and he shot at the right angle, like truly backlit. It's not some overhead coming in from the side. It's still coming in from behind. So you get, it is strong, harsh light, but for a shot like this, I think it works. And so I kind of just wanted to celebrate a photo that, isn't shot in the most perfect of early morning light, but shows that like you can still do something creative with that light and capture action. And it totally works. Are you with me on that, or do you feel differently on that, Brad?
Yeah, I think exactly one thing you mentioned about the lighting. So like position yourself so that harsh light can be used as best as possible. And I think for me is like that super low perspective because it cleaned up the background in the sense that, you know what I mean? Like it's so much further back. Now it's don't have anything. Like with that other kingfisher image for me, it was a lot of those, like I think it was like lily pads or something, because it was just a subtle angle. It was still low, but it was up just enough that now you're showing that just enough of a distraction. I mean, you talk a lot of times too. I've seen you show a bunch of videos on it where like you're at a beach that's like super dirty and not very clean in terms of like seaweed and everything on it. And just by getting super low, like burying your lens down in it, it just cleans up that scene. And just a few inches above, now you're seeing that debris and that clutter. So I think for me, like having it elevated that bit more was definitely his super, super low perspective. So yeah, to me, this definitely does work. There's more chaos. There's more, you know what I mean? Like all that chaos is there, which, you know, was definitely in that other Kingfisher shot. But I think the savior here is that's super low and the proper light angle.
Exactly. Yeah, because the other thing is, right?
Great job.
Shift this to putting that sun above and to the right here, and then having some of it, like if some of the sun was hitting parts of the bird, you'd have like hot spots and the dark. Like instead, it's pretty consistent. And I know the sun's hitting like along the edge on the neck there and some of those feathers in the back, but it's still more consistently behind. It's like, this is what you do with that light. Like, and you know, this proves like sometimes there is a reason to stay out. You can do something cool and creative if you have an interesting moment. And, you know, this probably wouldn't look that great if it was just the bird wading in the water as a portrait. It really wouldn't, right? It needs the craziness and the behavior and the splashing and whatever's going on in the background. If it's like a waterfall or something back there or a fountain, maybe.
You know? It's crazy.
It's got a lot going on. It looks awesome. So great job, Brian.
Really, really well done.
And you went with this. This is awesome behavior.
Yeah, I love this stuff. Like when there's different wader birds that are like just grabbing stuff, flicking it up, fish or whatever. Like it's always one of these moments where you're just like blasting away because you don't know exactly, you know, you want it. So it's like the mouth is completely open and that that fish or whatever it's eating is like right in the middle, so you can kind of see it. So yeah, super well done. Nice, you know, low-ish. You know, like I probably would have buried even further, but who knows? Could have been all wet and all. Like it's got that look to it, so it's certainly tough. But with that said, I love the fact that you're getting like that foreground bokeh, bigger ball, smaller. There's like a transition kind of between the size of them. So it kind of gives this layering, this nice real layer effect. So yeah, really cool moment. Yeah, really.
The only other thing that happens too, Brad, at this location, I know where he shot this. It's right here on this island.
Okay.
And we'll probably be there one of the days this weekend too.
Nice.
Is when you do get all the way low, you start getting the tree line. This is really far out. I mean, it's like miles out, but you get that kind of as an intersection right between your subject. It can like cut the head or neck. Yep. So sometimes that little bit of elevation just puts at least the whole bird in that cleaner spot, you know, instead of having that bulb line cutting through. So that could be part of it as well. I know I've certainly dealt with that there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you made the right choice for sure. It's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I love that open beak thing. And yellow crown, like these night herons are so cool. And I'm pretty sure it was a yellow crown night heron. Like I kind of just want to bring this up to wrap up the show here. So I'll switch back. Oh, wait, real quick. Next month, jeez, man. Next episode, the topic, the Wildlife Photo Chat Challenge, use that hashtag, is going to be fall colors. It 'tis the season for a lot of different areas. Let's see all your fall color shots. Just hashtag Wildlife Photo Chat Challenge on Instagram. Share all your fall color shots, and then we'll pick one and share it right here.
Nice.
Yeah, so I just real quick, I wanted to hop back into Lightroom and see if I could find this real quick. I have this sequence of it, and seeing that really reminded me of it, of a night heron, yellow crown night heron. I was in my floating hide and went out with this thing. Here we go. It was like, it was one of the craziest encounters I saw of this bird just like taking out this crab. And I'm trying to see, I think here, all right, let's see what the sequence was. I just want to do it like in order because it was wild, dude. I think, it probably goes this way. So I'm like tracking him across. He was across the entire pond. I'm in the floating hide. And because of that, I was able to like cruise right over to him. And he had no idea I was there, right? So he's stalking. And then he launches out, grabs this crab, right? Pulls it out of the water. Some of these are going to be just like edited versions as I go through.
That's fine.
So he pulls it out of the water, drops it over on the shoreline. And then this crab's sitting there, dude. And then he proceeds to
just
dismember the thing.
I love that.
That's it's like cool this poor little crab with like the one little bill, like right. He's like, I'll defend myself, right? So he rips off both claws. Look, you can see he grabbed it like Look at the precision grab, right? Oh, I can't zoom in because it's an old photo. It's like right on the claw, right? And then look, claw's gone.
No way.
He had already ripped off the first claw. Here goes the second claw. There it is, right? So now the crab is defenseless.
Wow.
And then he picks the crab up, starts ripping the legs off, so the thing can't even run away. I mean, just brutal, dude. And then, look, the crab has like one leg left.
Yeah.
Then he sets it down.
That's wild.
This is him. He just starts hammering it, dude.
Just
basically split the thing in pieces, and then down it went. It was just like, I mean,
wow.
It was
That's
brutal.
wild.
Look, there's the crab in half now.
Yeah.
Like, it was brutal. There it goes. Gone.
Yep.
Crazy, right?
Wild. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's cool behavior to watch.
It was totally one of those moments where it was like, sort of like, what is it? What's the, oh my gosh, what's that like, not nursery rhyme, but like the David and Goliath thing, right? Yeah.
Where
it's just like that poor crab is just there. He's like defending with the one claw, and you just see this monster bird over top of him. You're like, dude, you got no chance, man. No chance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool to see.
It reminded me of that. Really, and that was, I remember being in the hide going, oh, like just making noise. Like. And then I was with a friend at the time, and they weren't in a hide, so they were just stuck on the opposite shoreline and didn't get to see like any of this, you know? So I like cruised across and just shot this whole sequence.
Wow.
I always thought that was like a good behavioral potential contest photo because it was just like the little guy with the thing up. But the light was kind of like a little strong and
not that bad though.
I don't know
if you
I
ever enter it?
I think I did enter it in a couple things and I just never did anything. So then I just like bailed on it, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Surprised.
Yeah. But anyway.
Interesting.
So
yeah, it's very cool.
All right. I got to get back to work. So I'm going to say goodbye.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, I know. All I've been doing is recording and talking. Now I talk to you for an hour and then I got to go do more of that.
We're going to do the same
I'm good
thing.
At talking.
Yeah. You are, yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Stuff, man.
Catch you all next week.
Take care, everyone.